Thanks for joining us. I'm in a cornfield, and we're just barely into the part of June, and we're going to talk about some of the things that happen underground. Joining me is Jim Kelly, and strategic. Better hit that again, Jim. What's the title?
Strategic Account Manager.
So, what does a strategic account manager do for Pivot Bio?
I work with growers like Cory. Some of the larger strategic accounts across the east, from Indiana out to New York and Delaware. So kind of a large swath of the areas. Direct support to the company. Cory can work with a local, and he does work with a local rep as well. But it's another layer of support for Cory and his farm.
So, who is Pivot Bio?
Oh, Pivot Bio, we've been around about 11 years. We're in the microbial world within ag. 3 years commercially. We have microbes that produce nitrogen for the corn plant. So they live on the corn's root. Corn feeds it exudates and sugars, and that microbe takes nitrogen from the air and converts it to ammonia and feeds the corn nitrogen, essentially.
So what's been the acceptance rate when you talk about being in the market 3 years? You've also got a pipeline coming, but give us a quick update. What's Pivot Bio's pipeline look like?
Oh, it's awesome. And we're growing like crazy. We're growing very rapidly. I think we're working extremely well with the growers, with Cory and those guys. I think they're excited about the product and what's coming down the line, just the future of what it can provide for that corn plant. And it's exciting. Yep.
Website where people can get more information?
PivotBio.com.
PivotBio.com. It doesn't get any better than that. Jim, thanks for the update. Cory Atley, my guest. Cory, we've probably seen you on television, maybe heard your name announced at the National Corn Yield Competition. Tell us a little bit about the farm and what are your goals?
The farm right here is called the Rosemoor Farm. There's about 500 acres of corn here this year. A lot of different of the Pivot Bio trials are here. We actually have two of them. We've got the Pivot Bio ProveN, and then we have the Pivot Bio ProveN Next Generation product here. So we're really excited to try it. So far this year, it's been a great growing season. We're off to a great start. We're just kind of waiting for that hit from Mother Nature because we know she's eventually going to come, but right now I'm going to take it. Things are looking really, really well so far this year.
I'm sure with your history and corn performance and farm performance as a whole, you've been targeted by lots of companies to try out products. You do a lot of reading. What made you decide to work with Pivot Bio?
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that I love about my job. We always get to try different products, different companies. So, some of them want to come to you and promise you the world, and you kind of get a little scared. But when I was approached by Pivot Bio, they said, here, man, here's a product that we think you can put in at planting. It can save you within the nitrogen. And, the first thing that went to my mind was not really saving on the nitrogen part of it, was can I cut out a pass? If you look behind us here, that's what we're doing right now is, with narrow rows, we have a problem with side dressing and staying off the rows. So we have to get very creative with the timing and the products we're going to use. And one of my most costly passes is with an airplane for that late season nitrogen. So if I can have a product that I can put in furrow at planting, that's going to give me that 35 pounds of nitrogen, and I don't have to bring in an airplane for that, and it's going to be readily available at that V10 VT time range, that's a no-brainer. So, the first year we tried it, I was a little skeptical, just like everybody else, can this actually work? And so we put it through the ringer. I had it anywhere from 100 pounds of complete nitrogen applied all the way up to 250 pounds. And we kind of wanted to find that sweet spot. And we did it on 3 different types of soil types. And at the end of the day, the product did what it said it would do. And we did see a yield bump, at the lower nitrogen rates, at the mid nitrogen rates. So it was interesting to see that and follow that through the entire year. So this year we have Pivot Bio on 2,000 acres. On the ProveN product, and then the next generation product, we're standing in the middle of the trial right now. So if it can be better than the first one, I'm pretty excited for it, and I think we're going to find out this year.
Now, the nice part about this is, for a lot of people checking it out, is it's not going to affect what you're doing right now on their farm because they haven't applied it. They've got all the rest of this year to check this out, check it on the research, go to the website, do some farm visits. From that, then, they need to be ready to next spring to help themselves out. Tell us more about what did you have to do to get the planter ready and so on, or is this pretty much a drop-in-and-go product?
It's pretty much a drop-in-and-go product. I mean, it's been simple to use. It's been very easy. The biggest thing I would just forewarn people, if they haven't used biologicals before, just making sure you don't open up the jug to smell it, play with it, a month before planting, because once it hits oxygen, it is on the clock. So just take care of the packaging, make sure you're not playing with it, put it in when you're ready to plant. It's not something I would hot load in a big, 5,000 gallon container and then get rained out for a few weeks. Whenever you're dealing with these types of products, I think, teaching yourself or calling somebody, like Jim or somebody from the company, or if you feel the need to reach out to me, I'll be glad to help. But, you just want to educate yourself on it, and make sure you're doing the best practices with the product to make it work.
Comment on environmental stewardship, sustainability, and so on. With products like this, will that help you meet your farm goals?
Well, absolutely. Whenever we can cut out a pass with a synthetic, and use something like this and use it in furrow where we know it's going to be right beside the seed, it's going to be where the root zone is, it's perfectly placed. That's why we've always been such a strong believer within biologicals on our farm. So it's a no-brainer when I was approached to try this, because I do think that is the wave of the future. To be able to use what's already here, to be able to cut down with the synthetics. I mean, it's always going to have its place, but if we can use less and less and still get the same results or better, that's a no-brainer.
And the plant helping to produce its own when it needs it always is a good step. If you would comment on, as you look to Mother Nature this year, we have no idea what it's going to do. There is a chance that at some point in the year you may say, I can't afford to put any more nitrogen out there because the plant can't utilize it based on Mother Nature. In that case, you get to save money by using the product and coming in with a later application.
Well, correct. I mean, at that point in time, now we have less nitrogen on our field, and if we can still get the same yield goal, that's ROI. We've just put more money within our pocket. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. We don't know what Mother Nature's going to do, how she's going to play, but this is kind of a double-headed defense. If we get wet and we need more nitrogen, I've already got it here. If we get hot and dry and going through stress environments, the corn's going to eat more. So it's going to have that extra nitrogen coming to it per day. And that's just what we're looking for. It's just something to feed this crop along to where Mother Nature will help it. Because at the end of the day, she controls the cards. But if we can have products that's going to help ease that pain for a while, like this product, ProveN, that's what we're looking for.
So ProveN's in the field, but the next research chemistry is also coming along. As a farmer, what would you tell the chemical company Pivot Bio and their biologicals? What would you tell them the next pipeline materials ought to do for you?
That's a good question. Ought to do for me everything. No.
And that's what a lot would say, but we can't ever get there in one step. So given this one, what's the next logical thing you'll hope the next chemistry does for you?
I think phosphorus and then your potassium. That's going to be the next big one. With our soils around here, tie-up's a big issue. You look at our soil samples, we have great soils. Problem is, can you take it from the soil and put it within the plant? So it's kind of like the nitrogen aspect of it within what they're doing. So, if they can continue to go down that pipeline, kind of attack the synthetic market, because nobody likes spending the money on what it costs, and and that's the thing. Everybody thinks to get big yields, you got to have big pockets. You're dumping a lot of money within the fertilizer, and we try not to. I mean, we're really mindful of backing down everything and doing a spoon feed approach. Now, yes, it does take more passes to do that, but at the end of the day, our applied is so much less than what it was, just 5-8 years ago, and we wasn't getting near the yields in. So I think we're learning as an entire industry. If you just look at the crop hybrids today, the way they can handle the heat and the stress and within the drought compared to 2012, as an industry, the farming industry has improved. Technology is booming. With companies like Pivot Bio, it's competition feeds competition. So I love it. I mean, it's, as a farmer standpoint, this is a great era.
This is Cory Atley. We're on Atley Farms. Cory, I'm going to ask you one more question about your 20-inch corn, because you said when you went to 20-inch corn, it was a learning experience. Take 20 seconds or 30 seconds for somebody that's thinking about it and tell them why it's such a learning experience to make a switch.
The hybrids react different from 20-inch rows to 30-inch rows. To really make them work, you know, we're in that 38,000 to 42,000 plant range. You try that on 30-inch rows, you're going to crowd them. You can make it work on 20-inch, but the feeding aspect of it, there's a lot more mouths to feed. The best way I can tell you is if you got a family of 12 and you bring home one pizza, you're going to have 12 family members mad at you. But if you have a family of 4 and bring home a pizza, everybody's going to bed with a full belly. So it's the same thing with 20-inch. The more plants you have out there, the more mindful you have to be about the food that you're feeding it. And you can make it work. It's a great thing for us. It's more of our stress ground. We can pull down the populations at 33 to 35,000 range. That's almost 11 inches between plants, so we're at 11 by 20-inch square. It's going to pull less nutrients, less water. We like using a flex hybrid that's kind of medium upright, and if we do get the weather, boom, it's going to flex out, and you don't even know that it's on that low population. But you know, getting rid of the heat is our biggest thing. So stress relievers we're going to rely heavy on, because the plants are narrow and airflow is that is the biggest issue with it.
Cory Atley, my guest. We're on Atley Farms. Thanks, Cory, for the update. Jim Kelly with Pivot Bio and their ProveN product out here. We appreciate you coming out and helping us to take a look at the field. Thanks for joining us. And again, you can find out more on Pivot Bio and their pipeline at pivotbio.com.